Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Erica Panacci.
The sun may be peaking today, but for the most part, it will be cloudy with a high of 10 and a low of 5. There will also be a 60% chance of rain for tonight. Saturday is going to be a wet one, so you may want to get out those rain boots and umbrellas. The high will be 8 and the low 5. Sunday, the sun will be shining with a high of 15 and a low of 8. Monday, the rain will be back with a high of 17 and a low of 12. Tuesday is going to be cloudy with a high of 3 and a low of -2. That's all for your weather update. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Erica. Turning now to international and national news, an explosion at a Quebec factory has killed 2 people. The explosion happened in Sherbrooke Thursday afternoon and resulted in 19 others being badly injured. Workers discovered the bodies as they were cleaning up the rubble of an industrial explosion at Neptune Technologies and Bioresources. 4 people have been taken to a Montreal hospital to be treated for burns and are still in intensive care. The plant was known to make products from fish oils, and the explosion is believed to have been caused in part by its large acetone reserves.
Another explosion and fire overnight in a Bombardier plant left 2 people badly burned. Quebec Provincial Police say the incident happened in Valcourt just after midnight. The victims are an employee and a security guard. At this point, they are being treated at a Quebec City hospital and are in a medically induced coma. It appears as though the explosion came from the building's research center. An investigation is currently underway by the Workplace Health and Safety Commission.
And in Alberta, the go-ahead has been given for a new oil refinery to start phase 1 of construction. The Heartland region will be the home to Sturgeon County's new refinery. An executive with one of the companies behind the project says it will lower Alberta's carbon footprint. Similar projects were planned between 2004 and 2008, but these plans were halted because of rising costs and the economic recession. The facility is expected to bring about 400 permanent jobs to the region. The cost of building is estimated to be over $5 billion.
The U.S. election may be over, but lawmakers on both sides of the border are gearing up for the next political showdown. According to Finance Minister Jim Flaherty, the so-called Fiscal Cliff is a battle that could have big ramifications for the Canadian economy. Government sources say much of Flaherty's economic update later this month will warn of the possible consequences to Canadians of ignoring the fiscal cliff. The cliff refers to a series of spending cuts set to kick in next year if Congress can't agree on a way to reduce America's deficit. According to TD Bank's chief economist, such a move would wipe out all economic growth in Canada.
New York residents fed up with long lines at the pump are in for some relief today. New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg announced the city would begin rationing gasoline after widespread shortages wreaked havoc with commuters. The rationing system will have drivers with license plates ending in odd numbers fill up on odd days, and those with even numbers on even days. The city is still recovering from the 1-2 punch of Hurricane Sandy and a winter storm front which hit several days ago. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie instituted similar measures in his state last week. And now with your sports news, here's Alex Fuller.
Thanks, guys. The saga of success continues for the Humber Hawks. Over in Coquitlam, BC, the men's soccer team defeated the Seneca Sting 3-0 yesterday. Matthew Rios scored Humber's first 2 goals, and Seneca just couldn't keep up. Tomorrow night at 8 is the national championship game. The Hawks will battle Douglas College for the gold medal and bragging rights. In PEI, the women's soccer team made up for Wednesday's defeat by blazing past the Holland College Hurricanes in a quarter-final game. The women won the match 3-0. Goaltender Kat Conde outdid herself, keeping the Hurricanes at bay while Ashley Osorio, Brittany Serbicow, and Jade Wickland-Roach scored the goals. The women are playing a semi-final match today against the NAIT Ooks from Edmonton. Looking forward to this weekend, the Hawks are headed to Champlain College in Quebec City for the CCAA Championships tomorrow. The men's basketball team will be at Canadore College at 3 p.m., and the men's and women's volleyball teams will be there at 8 and 6 p.m. The Hawks will play host to the men from Seneca and the women from St. Lawrence tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the OCAA Rugby semifinals. And on Remembrance Day, the men's and women's volleyball teams are headed to Nipissing University in North Bay. The women face off at noon and the men at 2. Also on Sunday, the Toronto Argonauts will host the Edmonton Eskimos in a semi-final match at 1 p.m. That will be the TO team's first playoff game at home since 2007. What else is new with the Argonauts? Head coach Scott Milanovic has signed on for a contract extension. He was hired less than a year ago to take over from Jim Barker, who is now the Argos general manager. Milanovic previously worked as the Montreal Alouettes assistant coach for 5 seasons. If you think mixed martial arts is a men's sport, you've got another thing coming. Former Olympic athlete Ronda Rousey is now the first ever female fighter to join the UFC. The 25-year-old Rousey is already a veteran of MMA promotion Strikeforce, which will reportedly be holding its last event this January. Rousey is undefeated in her MMA career, and she won a bronze medal in judo at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Rousey's favorite technique? Breaking her opponent's arm every time. And that's all for sports. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Alex. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Tashay Houghton.
It's an early celebration for South Asians in Toronto. Humber Theatre students take the stage, and 2 highly anticipated films are coming out today. All that and more after the break.